Hey guys, this video is for some of you more advanced guys that are going through strength training now because you wanted to get stronger. And sort of what's the thought process behind periodized training basically. So we've got three types of training essentially to develop a strong body: hypertrophy, strength, and peaking, and what each one does. So the thought process behind periodization is that we're trying to achieve a goal, and to do it, we don't necessarily train specifically for that goal straight away. We build a foundation that allows us a greater ceiling of potential performance, basically, but we might not necessarily realize that performance straight away. So it works around the concept that a bigger muscle has the potential to be a stronger muscle, but not necessarily is a stronger muscle. So what's the kind of way we could go strength training straight away? We could start with that. If we weren't weren't carrying that much muscle mass, might not be the best way because we hit that ceiling real early on. We could do hypertrophy for years and years and years. We'd end up with quite a lot of muscle, maybe not as much strength as we could have possibly had. So what do? We end up block periodizing them. We go hypertrophy, strength, peaking, hypertrophy, strength, peaking. Peaking I'll come on to in a little bit. Okay, so we do the hypertrophy. We make the bigger muscle with the more potential to be stronger. We increase our ceiling of performance. So what does that mean? It's as high as we can go. It's the ceiling. Okay, that's our ceiling for performance now. But we're not actually there yet. So this is our ceiling of performance, and this is like what we do with our hypertrophy. By increasing our muscle, we actually get a little bit stronger as well. We increase our performance. Our ceiling goes up and up and up. Increase performance, but not as steep as it could be. Okay. Then what we do when we go strength training is that ceiling performance doesn't actually move as much, but our actual performance goes up way more, and we get a lot closer to that ceiling of performance. What's actually happening is that when we create a larger muscle, we are creating more satellite cells because we're creating larger muscle cells. What happens when we do strength training is the satellite cells go into a different part of the muscle, which basically allows us to control the muscle more effectively. One analogy I've heard about this is like, imagine a really large like space organization where there's like a brain at the center that controls a lot of parts, but when those parts get disconnected, it's like it could be this huge thing, but when they're disconnected, you can't actually control those things. So essentially what we're doing when we do strength training is that we're increasing our muscle's ability to actually contract the entire muscle. Okay, then we get more specific in peaking. So we're basically doing what we're doing in strength training, but even more to the point of when we're peaking, we're really not trying to increase our ceiling at all. We're just trying to like get to it. Okay. So when you're peaking, you'll see, you might think about, oh, my estimated 1 rep maxes haven't gone up this month. It's like, you're not lifting those weights. Their estimations, to keep reminding yourself that, okay? So we're actually trying to lift our estimated 1 rep maxes and actually surpass them if we can, okay? That's why when you get into peaking blocks and I give you that fourth option, that's like, if you're on point and peaking's gone well, you should hit that. But also remember, like, you've probably never hit this weight before, so like, bloody well enjoy it, okay? It's still a PB. Just because I kind of guaranteed it in a sense, not really guaranteed, but set you up for a good lead up to it. Just enjoy it, like really enjoy it. It's really just important to understand those concepts that when we're working away from our goal, it's like this 9-month goal down the line, everything we're doing now is actually building up to that. But we can just enjoy each stage. And that when you're in peaking, like, don't expect your estimated 1 rep max to go up. That's not the purpose of peaking. The purpose of peaking is to help you realize your full potential of strength, okay? So we do that by starting with a high volume versus the other way around, working the volume down so we drop fatigue. So we start with high volume, which means that we're getting a lot of practice and a lot of fatigue at a lower weight. And then as we go down, we get very much more specific to strength, which is higher intensity, not looking to improve performance. We're just looking to perform. So we're not looking to improve strength. We're just looking to perform, which is slightly different. Performance and training are two different things. When we're training, we're looking to improve long term. When we're performing, we're looking to perform and fully realize our full potential at that moment in time, whatever that time is. So we've got hypertrophy, which is muscle growth, building a larger muscle. Strength training, we're looking to improve our strength, not necessarily in in the short term, in the long term. Okay, that's very different. We could get a lot stronger a lot quicker if we went to failure all the time, but we're really going to increase our injury risk, and we're not going to give ourselves much space to go into. So it's long term. Peaking, we're fully realizing our strength. Okay, so that's kind of like a concept into block periodization. There are many other types of periodization. This is the one I use and the one I found to work the best. It's also something I've done for like 3 years, so I know exactly how to manipulate all the variables, and also how many times you can kind of train certain lifts and that kind of thing. So I hope this explains this kind of process a little bit better for you, in terms of like, it's a very abstract way of thinking, because it's not a very simple problem to solve, muscle growth and strength. It's actually quite complicated because our body resists adaptation, so we have to really like kind of trick it into forcing it to change. We do this by a lot of principles. The main one is auto regulation, so building up our sets and basically getting us our body, and the repeat about effect, basically doing all of these things over and over again, not changing too many things. So we prepare our body to basically do so much more than it would be able to do otherwise. Imagine trying to do your week 4 or week 5 in your week 1. Wouldn't be able to do it, right? We're preparing our body, we're tricking our body into basically allowing us to be able to force it to adapt. It's a complex problem to solve. It's very abstract because we're thinking long term, and our end goal, we're not necessarily achieving it in the next month, 2 months. It's like a year plan. If you want to go even bigger, Olympic weightlifting athletes do a 4-year plan. That's their macro cycle. It's 4 years long. So yeah, hope this explains it a bit better. If you want to leave a comment and let me know, I'll always improve. If you've got any questions, I'll answer them. Thank you very much.